as I become the first black woman to be given the same award. Thank the Hollywood Foreign Press Association, because we all know that the press is under siege these days, but we also know that it is the insatiable dedication to uncovering the absolute truth that keeps us from turning a blind eye to corruption and to injustice.
Mr. President, can you explain why you did not condemn those hate groups by name over the weekend?
They've been condemned. They have been condemned.
And why are we not having a press conference today? You said on Friday we have a press conference.
We had a press conference. We just had a press conference.
Can we ask you some more questions then, sir?
It doesn't bother me at all, but I like real news, not fake news. Give fake news. Thank you, everybody.
Under the shadow of the new Praetorian.
The views expressed in the following piece are that of the Laughing Ogre and should in no way be mistaken for those of any sane and rational individual. Now, folks, is Oprah Winfrey the best thing that ever happened to the United States of America? Will she be our next president? Well, sit back and relax. Here comes the Laughing Ogre! Thank you so much, Real Me. Thank you, constant viewer, the most important cog in this very auspicious machine. Oh, those intros, I had to laugh, even though I laugh every time when I start. We're gonna get into Oprah right now. I'm gonna cover two little things. This just tickles me. So I'm gonna go ahead and get right into it. I'll tell you what, thank you so much, Seal. I love the man's music. I have been a fan of his since the 90s. I'm a big fan of his music. I'm a big fan of him. I got into some trouble, I guess. His wife said he beat her up. I'm not even sure what happened. It's a debacle when you deal with women a lot of the times, and you're very wealthy. They can say what they want in order to extract. I'm not sure that's what happened. I'm not saying that's what happened, but it could be. I'm just going to give a defense for Seal and a possibility that he may have been accused wrongly, because I really enjoy the man. I really like the man. Love his music. So here's a quote from Seal. "You've been part of the problem for decades." Seal slams Oprah for ignoring rumors against Harvey Weinstein and says she's an example of sanctimonious Hollywood after her Golden Globe speech. The singer Seal lashed out at Oprah Winfrey following her inspirational Globe speech, which focused on the plight of sex abuse victims. Seal accuses the media maven of knowing about rumors against Harvey Weinstein and ignoring them in an Instagram post. In the post, he shared two images of Oprah with Weinstein and called her part of the problem before closing with a hashtag that read, "Sanctimonious Hollywood." I'm going to try to remember to put that hashtag up on this when I do send it on through to Twitter. Very quickly on this, and then I want to talk about the differences between Oprah and Trump and why I believe that it would be disastrous for Oprah herself if she did decide to run. This here from Seal, I don't think it could have came from any other sector, and he's going to be lucky if he doesn't get a lot of backlash from this, because he's a black man, but he's a black man. And in this day of identity politics and groupthink and pushing anyone out that's not a part of your group and doesn't look like you and doesn't think like you and doesn't act like you, I'm experiencing it now in this medium. No, I'm not going to name any names, but I could name 5 easily. I could name 10 easily. But I could name 5 easily that I know personally that say they believe in freedom of speech and freedom of expression, and you should be able to say whatever you want, and yet they would shut you down as quickly as possible. They would also become so butthurt and so unbelievably, just butthurt. I don't know a better way to say it, that they would never be able to let it go. If it didn't come from Seal, it couldn't have came out at all. It would have been better from a black woman, I guess. To me, everyone should be saying this. Of course she knew Harvey Weinstein was molesting people. Apparently, there are accusations now that she lured someone to Harvey Weinstein. Don't yell at me. If you are going, not most of you listening, constant viewer, but if you're watching this now and you are saying to yourself, well, why would you say that about Oprah? Why would you say that about Harvey? It's listen and believe, right? The accusation is there. What about Judge Moore? It doesn't matter at this point if she's done it or not. She's on a level playing field with everyone now because she is accused of luring a female back to Harvey Weinstein's molestation den. There's no getting out of that. Thank you so much, Seal, for saying this. It's time that, look, I love blues music. I told you I love Seal. I like R&B. Grew up listening to Motown. My mama played Motown from sun up to sundown. And my daddy just loved, man, his best friend was Shooby, man, in Louisville, Kentucky. And he hustled basketball, loved R&B, loved Motown, loved the Four Tops, man. I was probably his... Anyway, why do I have to look like someone in order to be able to criticize anything they do, and then they can criticize me, though they do not look like me? It's coming down to ridiculous. If Christianity can be criticized and critiqued because of the bad things that we can find in the things that we disagree with in the Bible, well, then why can't we disagree with Muslims based on their hadiths, their Quran, and their imams and what they preach in their, I want to call them synagogues, but we all know that's not what they call them. They're temples, they're mosques. There's no difference here. I hope that more people stand up and say, no, Oprah, get real. You've been here all this time. You are the most powerful female in media. Your word can make a book bestseller and somebody millions of dollars or ruin their life and no one will read it. Your word. You have your own Oxygen network. You have Harpo Productions, which in case anyone doesn't know, that's her name spelled backwards. Apparently, she's influenced by Phalamic magic. I'm only guessing that. It could just be that she's seen it spelled Harpo. But, you know, Aleister Crowley did spell out in magic that if you want to reap the benefits of Phalamic magic, you would learn to write backwards, walk backwards, talk backwards, think backwards. I don't know why I don't subscribe to that stuff. That's just what Aleister Crowley wrote. That's not up for debate. The book's there. It's published. I get it. That's why I try not to get into them topics too often. I know a lot about them, but then people want to argue about these things. And I don't make any claim of, I mean, I know something is happening in the world. There are people that are powerful that control the world. But I try to just Illuminati, Masons, Phalamic magic. Oh, because I do this all the time. Hand gestures are kind of my thing, aren't they? I can, if you stop my hands from moving, I can't spit a word out. Listen, Oprah has one thing going for her as I shift to my second idea and stream of conscious thought. This is going to be a little bit longer than a 5-minute one today. I'm trying to have a good time. I turned the resolution way up. I've got a lot of work to do, so I'll let this baby upload while I'm doing that. And I'm going to break it up. I'm going to have the shorties. I'm going to have the longies. Maybe I'll do a little housekeeping on a video so I don't have to take up too much time with this. But as I said, stream of conscious. I don't even have points written down as I usually do on the short ones to keep me on time. I'll write a point, and then in parentheses I'll have the time for it. So I glance down at the time and I talk about that point, and as I can see the time out of the corner of my eye, I know, ooh, I've got 20 seconds left. I really need to get this wrapping and go. Now that's how I keep it to 6 minutes. It's not a secret. I mean, these are tricks that public speakers have used for years. I've been a public speaker for 10 years. Pardon me. And that's a faux pas, right? Coughing in the mic. Anyway, thank you so much, Seal. We need to get over it. I should be able to critique. I should be able to speak up against people. But now the second point. Oprah has one thing going for her, identitarian politics. She's a black female. That's the biggest thing she has going for her. That was a detriment for Trump. He was a white male, a successful white male. That's very detrimental. That's a horrible thing if you're going to go into politics, and that's the only thing you got going for you is, you know, that you can say, hi, I'm Donald Trump. I'm a ruthless businessman that has made billions of dollars, starting out with 10 million, and now I'm very wealthy, and I think he owns more buildings in Manhattan than any single person. And this is me. That's detrimental. Well, in the case of Oprah, that is her thing. I am a black woman. In this, the part before the speech I played, she was saying, oh, you know, Cecil B. DeMille was on this stage, and now warms my heart to know that there's little girls watching this that will see that I'm the first black woman to ever receive this honor. Kudos to you, Oprah. And I know you got to mention it every time. You will never see Donald Trump say, hey, I'm a white male and I'm doing, no, it doesn't play in. And why would he bring it up in our society? As I said, it's actually detrimental to your case. You can't stick up for yourself if you're a white male. Even people I know and respect, it's the same thing. They will watch tweets from other folks that say nastier, more vitriolic things than Trump says. Then Trump puts out a tweet just simply defending himself against the onslaught of the legacy media and the mainstream morons. Just onslaught of it. And he says one thing, oh, look at Trump. He dared say he was a stable genius. And I imagine that he's there, man. And he's like, hey, Phil, I got an idea, man. Get your thing out. Tweet this out. Yeah, I need to just go in and it's stable genius. And Phil's like, stable genius? Do you really want to say that, boss? Stable genius. It doesn't mean that stable genius. Tweet it out. Tweet. Oh, everybody. Oh, shit. He said he's a stable genius. Oh. Everybody talks about him for another news cycle. I don't know when anybody's going to figure this out. But the one thing that Oprah has going for her is a detriment to Trump. Everything else that is good for Trump is a detriment to Oprah. Because you can't be this angelic, perfect, wonderful apotheosis of virtue and expect that mud won't stand. At that point, if one little spot of mud sticks to you, you look so bad. Trump came in there, a daggone a trash monster. The sticky, gelatinous trash monster that just touches and it sticks, and then people are throwing it, it just sticks to him. Well, he came in that way, so a little more mud thrown at him, a little more crap thrown on there. Oh well, he's the gelatinous trash monster. It doesn't really matter at that point, does it? So I don't know. Remember one thing is all this. For one, there's 3 years to go. Yes, this would be a good time for anybody like Oprah to start talking about it 3 years ahead of time, but there's 3 years to go. And she would have to beat anyone else that was preparing to run to be a Democrat nomination for president, to go to the Democratic National Convention as their nominee for president of the United States. Do you think any of those people are just going to lay down and let her be because she's Oprah? Or do you think it'll be like Hillary Clinton going against Barack Obama? Do y'all remember the nasty things they said about each other? That's one thing I hate about politics. They cuss and da-da-da-da-da-da, bee-da-bee-da, bing-da-bing-da-boop. And then the next thing you know, it's like, oh, the best thing since sliced bread. I just love this person. Come on in. We love you. We're part of the group. You're part of the group. Oh, goodness gracious. So it ain't going to happen. I mean, and by that I mean I would be surprised if it happened. But they're really hoping that they can get someone that's Trump-esque. They've tried everything else. It hasn't worked. So now they're trying to go the Trump route and say, we will get someone like Trump. Well, this person isn't like Trump. Her greatest asset is Trump's greatest detriment. His greatest assets are poison to her. When all this stuff comes out, and it will if she runs for office, and everything else, all of her deals, they were talking about Trump's deals and whatnot. She's a billionaire. People don't generally become billionaires without pissing some people off, A, and B, making a couple dirty deals. It's pretty much par for the course. That's the way it goes. So look, folks, I'm getting out of steam. I could probably go on and get to another point, but I said everything I got to say. Thank you so much, Seal, for speaking truth to power, even though you're quite powerful yourself. It's not like you're an unknown doing this, but hey, let's face it, Oprah. It's the Oprah machine. I imagine if you were looking to put another record out, she could make a few problems for your sales. And so I thank you so much for that, Seal. Thank you, Oprah, for deciding to run if you do, because we really don't need Democrats in, and that will make a big circus out of the whole deal in a way that I don't think Democrats can handle it quite like Republicans can. They don't have the same kind of intestinal fortitude is what I was looking for, that the right wing seems to have. So I could go on and on and on, but remember one thing before we part. Take your time, like this video, share it on Twitter, share it on whatever platforms you're on, Facebook, the whole lot. Tell your friends about us. because the Ogre Show convenes 9 o'clock Greenwich Mean Time, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Right after that, 11 o'clock Greenwich Mean Time, starts the Red Eye stream with Mad Dodge Productions. Make sure you tune into that too. Swing on by over there to Mad Dodge Productions. Like that. Share that. Go ahead and subscribe to them. And more than that, more than anything, be good to your friends, be good to your family members, be good to your loved ones. Be quick to say you're sorry. Be even quicker to accept an apology, especially when that thing your friend, your family member, your loved one has done seems to be so huge, you'll never be able to forget about it. Because constant viewers, at a time you think not, your friends, your family members, your loved ones, your life, your cause, and everything you know will depart from you. Make America great again!